Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 7. Yes, episode 7 of Creating Your Career with Marla J. Alberti. I am, as you guys know, super excited for this interview. Why? Because I have I'm going to go ahead and say it, my personal realtors, Dwight and Earitha Anderson of Anderson Realty. Go ahead and say hey to everybody, guys.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yay!
Good afternoon for those who are somewhere else.
So, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. As you know, I love to talk about where I meet people. So, how do I know Dwight and Earitha? So, we used to belong to an organization years ago, and we just kept the connection going. It was some spots here in between there. Now you have a time spurt where you don't talk to people, then you have a long time spurt where you do talk to people, but we kept the connection there. And of course, Earitha's had that real estate background, so I needed her in the midst of real estating, and we just kept it together. And here we are. I asked them to do a talk show with me, one of my episodes, and here we are. So we're going to talk about real estate today. And if you're interested in a career in real estate, this is who you need to be listening to right here, Dwight and Earitha Anderson. So what I'm going to do is, before we jump in, I'm going to go ahead and read their bio. As you guys know, I read the bio verbatim. So make sure you have your pencil and paper, pen, so you can get ready to take notes as we get ready to jump in. Okay, so here's their bio. So Dwight and Earitha Anderson are best friends. I love that. Spouses and business partners, and the "and" is in bold. They are co-owners of their new real estate team, Anderson Real Estate Group, at Rosa Realty, which is Florida's largest real estate brokerage. I didn't know that. See, I love learning facts. #learn. Earitha is a professional realtor with over 15 years experience and serves as a team leader. Dwight, who recently joined the team, serves as a team administrator. The Andersons and their team partnered with buyers and sellers to partner with their teams with buyers and sellers to service their real estate needs in Jacksonville, Florida, and surrounding areas. The Andersons focus daily on building relationships, connecting buyers, sellers, and investors, and are passionate about coaching potential home buyers on becoming mortgage ready, which is so important, and achieving home ownership. Their goal is to contribute to the stability of their community and leave a legacy of passion, service, and results, one sales transaction at a time. I love that. One sales transaction at a time. So awesome. This is so exciting. I'm sorry, guys. My voice is a little scratchy. All right, guys, let's jump into it. So starting with our first question, and you know, guys, how we flow. We just kind of go with the flow. With our first question, give us a brief history up to now with where you're from, and kind of move from there. We'll go forward.
You want to go first?
I'll go first. All right. I was born in the Bahamas, Nassau, Bahamas, and I relocated to the States when I was about 6 or 7, lived in South Florida, and right around 97, about 20 years ago, a little over 20 years ago, I decided I wanted to relocate to Jacksonville, Florida. Actually, the story is funny. I was on my way to Oklahoma to attend a university there, and Dwight was on his way to Atlanta, and somehow we both ended up in Jacksonville, and we met.
Yeah.
And got married.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
I'm from Tampa, by the way, and I've been in Jacksonville now for about 12 years. And when I got here, I began to, like you normally do, you're looking for your place to fit in at, right? And I went through several avenues of jobs and different things of that nature, but I'm trying to find my little place to get in. Where, lo and behold, I was cut from somewhere to be cut into somewhere, and that's where real estate and Earitha and I began to connect.
Oh my God, I love that. So you guys hear how connections happen. As you guys know, I have a theme throughout all of our shows. So connection seems to be a popular theme. So that kind of takes us right into the next question. So real estate, tell us about real estate. What is your career in real estate? Because real estate is huge, right? So what is your guys' career? What do you guys do in reference to real estate?
Well, we are primarily we work primarily in the residential area of real estate. So we help buyers and sellers purchase or sell their residential properties.
And
You're going to edit this.
when you say buyers and sellers residential, so you only deal in residential, no other branch of that, or
We are on our team. We have members that work in the commercial sector, that work in property management.
okay.
There are many facets, but our focus is to work with buyers and sellers.
Okay. So tell us, how did you create this career? How did you get into even being interested in real estate?
It's interesting that you had asked that. I thought about this last night. My grandfather was a contractor, and all of his children, they had 10 children, all except 2 of them are in some capacity in the building or the real estate business. Either they're building homes, they're architects, they're in some capacity or another, excuse me, pertaining to real estate. And so I grew up around it, and I didn't even realize until I did a stint in corporate America. I didn't realize until it hit me that I'm in the wrong place. I need to be in real estate. And I realized all my life I had been around it. I worked for a family friend that was a broker when I graduated high school at 17, and I just developed a passion for real estate. And that's how I began. After, I'd say I worked in corporate America for over 20 years. But throughout, I always had a desire to do something that would fulfill me more. I enjoy working with people. I enjoy helping people resolve, or, you're going to edit this, Marla?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. So let me start from, I was doing good last night. Anyway, let me start from, all right. So after working in corporate America for many years and just feeling unfulfilled, I decided I wanted to enter a career where I would be able to help people, because that's my number one passion, helping people. And I didn't want anyone to kind of put limits on what I would be able to accomplish. So for me, that outlet in serving others was to help people find in their real estate transactions. Should I keep talking?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So I feel like So the outlet for me was helping people in the real estate transactions through real estate transactions. That's my area of service. When I worked in corporate America, I was able to do the job, but I never received the fulfillment of being in that space. And so I decided that I wanted to be able to work for myself. And so very quickly, I had a personal situation at the time that required me to take time off from work. And I decided, you know what, I'm going for it. I'm going to take the course. I took it in a week. I got my license all within 1 month, and I started in real estate.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
That's awesome. That is awesome. How I fit into it. When I came from Tampa to Jacksonville, and like I said before, to start working, I began to work in landscaping, commercial landscaping with a company here, and I worked there 2 years as a supervisor. Once a door opened for me to go into another field, I found myself in something I really was passionate about, and that was working with people. I started this organization here in Jacksonville. I also stayed there for 4 years. 3 years of that time, I was supervisor there as well, over a crew of guys. And in that capacity, we looked over the homeless. We looked over those who are in various kind of addictions and different things of that nature. And from there, something came about. I started to grow, but something happened. The company got into this financial dilemma, and organization has changed. When they changed, then I got cut off the team, but that put me right into where I'm at now, and that is real estate.
Okay, I love it, guys. So I don't know if you guys are listening I'm trained to hear key things. So a couple key things that was stated here: desire.
Yes.
Okay. First of all, Earitha said she was surrounded by it and didn't even realize it. A lot of times that happens. That happens in life where we're surrounded by things growing up and you don't even really pay attention to it. You're like, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do something else. Then it always comes back around. It always
Exactly.
does. So she was surrounded by it. Then the desire was there. She said she wanted to help people. And we do. We all want to help people. And I try to coach with people. That's huge. That's a wide, broad thing to do. Help people. So we got to narrow it down. How do we want to help people? And you said, okay, I always wanted to help people with their residential transactions because, as we know, the American dream or a dream is to own a home. And people, not everyone does. It's okay. People, there's nothing wrong with renting for those who rent, but some people do want to eventually own a home or own an investment property. So Earitha said, okay, this is what I want to do. And Dwight came in like, you know what? I was here. I was already doing this, but this kind of fell in my lap. I just happened to marry this wonderful woman that was already there, and it kind of just flowed. So I love how that connection came together. It seems to me everything kind of just always falls in place, right?
Right.
And that's what it looks like. It just kind of fell in place. So and for the audience, if we're looking for a career in real estate, like Dwight said, kind of fell in his lap, what skills are needed for this particular career? What do I need to do? Because Earitha, you said you went right in, took your test, and you made it all in 1 month. So what skills do you think are needed for this career?
When I started in my career, I had no clue. I was learning as I go. I learned as I go. Mm-hmm. And obviously education is the initial thing. So you have to at least have your basic education in real estate. And so after getting educated, of course, there's the process of licensure. And once you pass the school exam, the state exam, now you're free to go and join. You have to sit under a broker because, you need someone to supervise your activities. You're new in the business. Okay. So basically, when you work with the broker, you identify. This is what I would say. Once you complete your school, I would interview brokers. There's a difference when you are an employee of a company and you go on a job interview, and yes, you're assessing, do I want to work in this environment? But when you are a realtor or a real estate agent, you're an independent contractor. You're essentially a business owner. You're a business within a business, right? So you want to make sure that the brokerage you decide to work with aligns with your core beliefs, with your personality, that they're equipped to help you grow. And so interviewing is important. So I would interview several. There are different types of brokerages out there. There are the more traditional ones. Compensation, training, development, all of that is different than if you went with companies, say that you have an opportunity to earn full commission, right? So you have to be pretty much independent. So learning the type of company that you should connect with, when we talk about connection, is vital. Then from there, some of the skills that you have to love serving people. Number one, you have to be very passionate about helping others. You need to have great problem-solving skills. There are many times that customers may come and they may get the initial loan pre-approval and they may get a denial. It's my job to basically keep them engaged, keep them encouraged, help them, get excited again. Let's look at why. And perhaps it's just one lender that can't do it because they just don't offer those products. So you have to be a problem solver. You have to be a go-getter. Have to have great self-motivation, creativity. That's the name of the game in real estate. You have to be extremely creative, great communication skills.
Yeah, and let me add this, especially when it comes to developing skills, right? One of the most effective skills I've I've gotten, by being in real estate is a skill of asking, asking because if you don't know how to ask people for the business, and when I say asking, I'm talking about communication, not just talking with words, but with your eyes, with your hands, with your tone of voice. You got to have all these things because what's happening, you are releasing some energy that would cause them to come up and have hope. Just the other day, I was talking with a guy. We had a deal going on, right? And something got wrong with the deal. Well, people, when things go wrong or seem to be wrong, the hope kind of like go down. But what I do a lot of time, I step in and I bring that hope. I'm the hope alive. You bring hope back again. You encourage them. You let them know that they can do it. You let them know they can't quit. They can't cave in. They can't stop. They got to keep moving forward. So those kind of skills are needed. Asking, communication, and listening, learning. It's a variety of things that can help someone really get to the place that they need to get in when it comes to home ownership.
Yeah. And if you don't like people, this is not the industry for you. You have to enjoy people. You're dealing with the largest transaction most people will ever make in their life.
Yes.
It's a very emotional process, whether it's on the buy side or the sell side. Okay, very emotional, especially if someone has never gone through this process before. And so you have to be you're almost like a counselor or a coach, I would say, as you're going through the process. So there are a lot of skills that you need. And you learn. You don't know everything when you first start in the business. It's great to connect with others. Partner or find a mentor or a coach to help you develop your skill sets. But at the very least, you have to be a people person. You have to be committed to learning, right? You have to have the ability to learn. You must, again, listen, to what people are saying, not just by the words of their mouth, coming out of their mouth. Have to be able to listen.
You have to be a people helper.
Yes.
People helper. That's it.
You got to be a people helper and have what I call develop a attitude, a 100 attitude. You always vibrant. You're not slowful. You're not talking down. You got to be talking up again because you want to create that atmosphere where you bringing people hope.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So I can end on this question right here. This question was so loaded. You guys said so many nuggets. I'm going to go over a few of them because I want to hone in. I need the audience to really hear some of this stuff. So The first thing you said is education. Yes. So education is key. You have to learn what you're doing. And I can say for myself, guys, like I told you, Earitha was my personal realtor. She will be my realtor when I move again, no time soon, but when I move again. And I can definitely say education. You have to know your product. You have to know what you're doing. And Earitha was there. She walked me through everything I needed to know. So I would say that is so important. Also, Earitha and Dwight said service. You have to want to help people. Passion. You guys went over creativity. Motivation, communication. So communication is so important when it comes to a real estate transaction because I know for myself, I didn't know what was going on. I'm not big on all that stuff. I expect for you to know all of that. I needed to know answers. And I know I was not their worst customer, but I was probably not the best either.
You'd be surprised. You were fantastic. I've told you this so many times. You were fantastic. You're a natural project leader, and so you wanted to lead the project in the beginning, and then finally you said, "No, this is not my space. You have it."
It was not, and I said, "Okay, you guys take it over." And let me add one more key skill, guys: patience. You have
oh my goodness,
patience.
Yes.
Because I was ready to close the day the house went on the market. And thankfully, it didn't take long. We sold quickly. But I was ready to go. Like I had a date. I had to do this. I was ready to do that. And I didn't have patience. But as a realtor, guys, you gotta have patience. So these are some key skills. Now, really quick before I go on to the next question, which is 3 interest points, which we kind of already talked about a couple. But you mentioned products. Explain to the audience, know your products. What are the products you're speaking about? What are you talking about? I know what you're talking about, but
what
everyone
I was
may not
speaking
know.
about was knowing what resources you have available. Excuse me. Some, for instance, there are some buyers that may need to purchase a home, or they're looking for a specific type of home.
Mm-hmm.
You need to know what if they're financing, what type of mortgage product can help them accomplish this.
Yeah,
for instance, there might be someone that wants to move into a specific neighborhood, and there's a property that's an as-is property. That property may need a roof. It may need some, major renovations. Well, you have to know, well, this is not a regular type of loan. What type of loan is required to help them? Well, there are loans out there like renovation loans and things like that. Then you need to not only know the product, you need to know who's a reliable loan officer that specializes in that type of loan, that when you refer that customer, that they can look at their situation and actually get the deal done for them. So listening, assessment. We have when we meet customers, we have what's called a needs analysis. So we basically ask a series of questions, their motivation, what their needs are, timelines, and things like that, whether you're buying or selling. But specifically with a buyer, once you identify, what if that person had challenge credit? You don't just send them away and say, sorry, you were denied. No, you have to have the resources to be able to refer them to to the appropriate loan officer or company to be able to help them. Perhaps they need their credit enhanced. They may just need to pay off a few things. There are some instances where they have proof that something on their credit should not be on the credit. You need to know, well, perhaps this loan officer can do what they call a rapid rescore, provide that information so we can get an approval within a week. If you don't listen and ask a lot of questions, then you may miss out on opportunities to help people. So you have to be able to identify their needs based on the information you receive and know how to refer them appropriately. Like, say, for instance, we had a customer this week that has an IRS lien of almost $200,000. Wow. So if you're unskilled or if you're not seasoned in the business, you might say, well, I'm sorry, that's not something that we can work. Well, there are lenders that will, given this, considering if they're on a payment plan or something, they will lend and they're able to qualify for a mortgage, and not at outrageous interest rates either, market rates. So it's important to know your product. It's important to know, and for me, it's more about resources. The products that I would use on my side would be about resources. So you have to know the resources that are available to help. Even on the sell side, there are certain things that we may say to a person wanting to sell their home. Listen, if you do nothing but paint, that's a 761% return on your investment to paint. So you have to be able to pull on facts, and that comes with, of course, learning, right? And it's about providing solutions to the customer. The customer comes to you as a professional because you should have the answers, And so that's what I mean when I say knowing your products. It is imperative that you're continually learning, continually networking. I network with home inspectors. I network with coaches, trainers, just everyone, loan officers,
everyone,
plumbers, roofers, everyone, because those are resources so that we can be able to provide better service to our customers.
And
Wow.
here's another thing I just want to throw in real quick with
Yes.
that anyone that may be listening who feel like, man, I can't own a property or own a home because my credit score is shot. And a lot of times people think that they need to have 800 credit scores to purchase a home, or I got to have 700, I got to have so much money saved up, and so on and so forth. And yet you do, with certain transactions. But a lot of time it doesn't take all that. That's why, knowing your product, knowing how to get one person, every individual have, every one of them have different scenarios, right? So therefore, there's a lender who can help any one of them, and that's what we provide, and that's how you can know your product enough so that you can help anyone in whatever situation. It may take longer for some than others, but still it can and will. I guarantee you, it will help them.
Wow. And this is so good. One key thing I noticed, and we'll go on to the next one. But one key thing I noticed that you said was just because, and Dwight, you piggybacked on it, just because someone doesn't have the proper information or credit score, what they need right now, you don't throw them away. You don't say, oh, well, we can't help
No.
you. We don't,
Right,
you send them through the credit process. You send them through what they need to get done because eventually the end goal is to get into a home. So,
Right.
as a part of being a realtor, you have to say, okay, it can't just be all about the final transaction. You have to start from the wherever that client
right.
is at, and again, go back to my word that I said, patience. This process
Yeah,
can be a
Patience.
year, 2 years, 3 years.
Yes.
You really need to have patience and know that you're helping someone get into their dream home. So I love that. Now, we did already talk about a couple of entrance points. You said education is an entrance point into the
Yes.
field. What is another? And Dwight is a great example. Look how he came into the field.
Correct.
As an administrator, what that's two. So what is another entrance point maybe to come into the real estate field?
I would say another is board affiliation.
Mm,
You can be a real estate agent,
okay.
right? If you don't belong to the National Association of Realtors, then you are not a realtor. You're not a professional realtor.
Okay.
Okay. So it lends credibility because there are ethics that we abide by when we are a realtor. Not saying that sales agents aren't um, ethical. What I'm saying is that it's a certification that you abide by a certain standards and principles, ethics, as you operate in business. So I would say, and typically the way that you would become a member, for instance, I belong to the Northeast Florida Association of Realtors as well as the National Association of Realtors. But again, because you're being supervised by a broker, if that broker does not belong, you're not required. However, if the broker belongs to the board, then the agents generally are required to join. And joining not just the National Association of Realtors, but there's the Women Council of Realtors, there's, um, uh, you know, oh goodness, what is it downtown?
The chamber.
Okay, there's a Women Council of Realtors, there's a Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
There are different groups that you may affiliate with, networking. Okay, that is important. It's important to associate yourself with your peers in the business. You learn from one another, and we help each other to grow. So another entrance point I would say is definitely becoming a part of the National Association of Realtors or becoming a part of the board because it gives you access to information, statistics, reports, all research, all types of things that you just would not. It would take a lot of time for you to be able to compile a lot of information on your own. And joining the board, it gives you access, right, to continual education and training, things like that. So I would say definitely get your license and then become a part of the local board of realtors.
And I want to say, you guys know, and those of you watching out there, if you watch any of my shows and my past episodes, I talk about that. I am a huge fan of joining associations.
Yes.
It is not a waste of time. It is not a
No.
waste of money. The
No.
amount of people that you meet, I'm a part of me. Obviously, I'm a trainer, so I'm a part of the ATD, Association for Training and Development, or Talent Development, should I say. I'm a coach. I'm a member of the International Coaching Federation, which is the only federated coaching association out there, because again, I care about the field, and I want to grow and learn more about what I'm doing. So I am big on joining associations. So let's just do a recap before we get to the fun question, because every episode has a fun question.
Okay. I was
So
going to add one thing. Okay. So another entrance point is it's the coaching aspect. It's the personal development.
Yep.
It is that commitment to continual learning. It's continual, but it's still an access point, because the majority of people that start in real estate, after how many years do they fizzle out? They burn out.
Not long.
Within 2 years,
Not long.
they begin to exit. By 5, they're no longer in the business.
Wow.
Because they're not succeeding. And in this business, like many businesses, you have to commit to becoming a master. You have to commit to mastery in your field. And personal development is huge. If you do not commit to personal development, that's going to conferences, getting a coach, a mentor, just doing continuing education, ongoing training. If you don't commit to that, it will be very challenging for you to remain in the industry. So education, you're a coach, you understand, personal development is huge.
Oh my God, I'm so glad you said that. And like I said, with the recap going backwards, continuing to read, educate yourself. No matter what you guys think, we don't know it all. We don't know it all.
Exactly.
And every day, I'm still learning stuff about coaching. And I got my certifications 4 years ago, going on 5 years. I mean, I'm still learning a lot about training. There's certifications out there. There's things to still do. So you have to continue. I love that you said mastery. You have to strive to be better every single day. And we say, okay, every year we're going to do this. We set these goals. Let's do them every day. Just little bitty pinches every day.
Daily.
And just to do a recap, you said, I love what you said, the service, you have to be ready to service. So I think guys who are, anyone out there listening who is interested in being in the real estate field, think about your service aspect. Think about, do you like to be around people? Think about, do you have patience with people? And because you're going to run into some attitudes. You're going to run into some things, people who know it all. I'm not saying I was one of those, but people who know it all.
Absolutely not.
People who want to run their own transaction. Not saying I did that, but you're going to run into this. So I love how you got to get your education. You got to go sit for the test. You got to study for your exam. I also heard key thing is joining your association, your local boards, getting active in your local community. Okay, getting active there, because guess what? The sky is big, so there's enough space under the sky for each realtor. Because we know real estate is a big field. There's a lot of realtors out there. But I think what you said was very key at the very end there. You said only 2 to 5 year life expectancy. And that's it. So if you're after 5 years, you're sailing high. 2 to 5 year life expectancy. And I believe the coaching range is roughly around the same. People start to getting their coaching and they think they're supposed to have clients right away. And after 2 years, if they don't get 10, 20 clients, they're done. Please, it took me time to get clients,
Exactly.
And you gotta, if you're passionate about something, the passion has to exceed your numbers and things that you want.
Exactly.
So I love that. Yes. So I will want you guys to give some closing remarks, but before we do that, because we're wrapping up, tell the world what's something that the world may or may not know about Dwight and Earitha Anderson and Anderson Realty. So like a fun fact.
Well, it may shock a few people or not. I know everybody loved to watch different sports. I used to be a sports fanatic when I was growing up. I was once entered into after years of playing football and wanting to be in the NFL like so many kids do. I went that route and I didn't complete it, but I played semi-pro football.
Okay. What? Did not know that.
And because of injury that I incurred, I couldn't go any farther. So that's one of the things that I missed out on is playing professional football.
Wow, but you went semi, but that is awesome. I did not know that. Did not know that. See,
well, that's something that you didn't know. You know?
That's why I love to do the fun facts. What about you, Earitha? Do you have a fun fact that you want to share with the world?
I know this is going to be so different than what I do, but I actually know how to braid hair.
Okay, I love that.
I know how to braid hair. I started with my cousins. We all taught each other how to braid, and we used to do all these different styles. And see, here's passion. I did not go to be a hairstylist. I ended up in real estate because that's where my passion is. But that's a secret talent that I have. Don't tell anybody because I don't want them to request appointments.
You know, we all have. That's the thing. In my new book coming out, I talk about try to do everything. I put it in the Facebook group yesterday. Do everything. We all have secret little desires that we like. We may have a niche over here that we do and we're great at it, but we all have little secret pockets of things that we like to do. And guess what? It's a free world. We can do that. It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you like to braid, it's okay. I love it. So tell the world how can they get in contact. And guys, I'm gonna put this information in the link below. But tell the world, Dwight and Earitha, how can they get in contact with you? What upcoming or ongoing? Because remember, this is an evergreen show. So what ongoing events do you have? Just tell us what's coming up with you guys and how they can get in contact with you.
Well, our business Facebook page. Well, they can look up Earitha Anderson. The business Facebook page is Anderson Real Estate Group or Anderson RE Group Jax on Facebook. We are on Twitter as well, Anderson RE Group Jax. Our website is actually, we're in the middle of branding conversion, so everything is still saying Earitha Sells Jax Home. Simple. Earitha, EARITHA, sells jaxhomes.com is our website. Or you can contact us and get more information there. Ongoing, in fact, we have an open house scheduled for today. We are growing our team. We actually will begin hosting webinars so that we can kind of connect with people. Sometimes people don't want to actually go to a location for a home buying seminar. We're going to start offering seminars and things actually online so that they can ask us questions about the process, whether they're looking to buy, sell, invest. And so those are some of the things that are in our future.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Did you have something to say, Dwight?
No, that's it. She said just what it is. That's fine. You know, because I know you're editing this a little bit, so so I don't talk so much, because I can get going. But she said a lot, and I'm cool with that.
Okay.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Oh, okay. Of course. And guys, the links are going to be below for everything Earitha just said, so you don't have to write it down. We'll post everything below. Thank you so much, Dwight and Earitha Anderson of Anderson Realty. I hope, guys, audience, you guys were able to walk away today with at least more information. If you didn't know, more information on how to be a realtor, what does it take to be a realtor, and what does it take to stay in the real estate game. I think we learned interest points. We learned how to work in the field and how to stay in the field for long term to help people and help homeowners get their dream done. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to email me, contact@truthspeakscoaching.com. If you want to be interviewed, don't forget to send me an email. I would love to interview you, see how you created your career. Join my Facebook groups. Don't forget to subscribe to the link below, and we'll talk to you guys next month with another great episode number 8. I have some exciting more people coming up, guys, so stay tuned. All right, guys, talk to you later. Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks. Thank you.